Despicable Me. So this story is about one of the great villain, Gru, who aspires to become world's greatest villain, who giggles, chuckles, and feels great about himself to do the world's biggest thieves and to steal most precious and biggest things in the world.
Gru has freeze ray through which he can freeze anyone's mind, body, and brain. Gru has a big house and also he has a big laboratory, a big scientific laboratory where his assistant Dr. Nefario builds and develops various scientific machines, instruments, devices.
Gru has a big pack of minions who serves him as his boss. So one fine day, Gru gathers all minions and address them about their great work this year. Like they have stole this big jumbotron, big square jumbotron. Also they have stole Eiffel Tower, model of Eiffel Tower and Statue of Liberty from Las Vegas. But they are quite disappointed that they are not able to stole that big pyramid of Egypt which already have been stolen. It's an outrageous act which is done by one of the greatest villain of that country, Vector. But Gru plans to steal another thing that is moon. He plans to steal moon, to steal moon, to bring the moon to him, and for that he wants to acquire this shrink ray. Shrink ray. Gru wants to acquire this shrink ray. Shrink ray is one of the most um, what I can say. It's a device that able to shrink any object of towards the smallest size. The, the, the mighty object can be changed to a smallest size. It's been done by the shrink ray, which is developed in the research laboratory of Asia. So Gru and his team planning to acquire that shrink ray. With the help of that, they are going to steal that. They are going to pull off this crime to get the moon from the space.
So the time comes when Gru visits research laboratory to steal that shrink ray, but oh, Gru Gru meant to steal that shrink ray, but there is another outsmart villain, and that is Victor or Vector. Vector. Vector outsmart Gru and captures that shrink ray from him, and Gru couldn't fight him back and couldn't get that shrink ray, but he plans that one day he will get that shrink ray definitely. On the other hand, we say Victor or Vector has that shrink ray in his fortress. He stole that shrink ray from Gru, who already stole that shrink ray from research laboratory. So now Vector has that shrink ray. Gru tries to grab that shrink ray from Vector's fort, but he couldn't. So when he goes to Vector's fortress, he finds that there are three little girls who came to the fortress, who visits fortress to sell their cookies. They are cookie sellers who visits Vector's fortress to sell cookies.
These three girls are from Hadith's orphanage house who used to sell cookies for their survival. So, as Gru saw these girls selling those cookies to Vector, Gru plant an idea. Gru plant an idea, and he first planned to adopt these three girls from Hadith's orphanage home. So he does the same. He first adopt those three girls whose name are Edith, Margot, and Agnes. So these three little girls who is now adopted by Gru, and these three little girls goes to Gru's house. So when they entered Gru's house, they felt happy, cheerful. Now they have a home too. But but there is something missing. They don't have any mother. On the other hand, we see this vector testing the shrink ray, whether that shrink ray is working properly.
On the other picture, we see girls have entered Gru's house. They are quite stunned and amazed, and parallelly quite sad. Not that much happy as they were expecting, as they have strange things to see in the Gru's house. They have creepy animals to see. They have weird instruments, weird devices to see. A scientific laboratory which girls really don't understand what exactly that laboratory is about. Dr. Nefarious. Per the Gru's plan, he wants to get that shrink ray back from Vector's fortress. So he ordered Dr. Nefario to develop some cookies, some robotic cookies. A cookie which is actually a robot. So Dr. Nefarious developed those kinds of cookies, and now Gru is about to execute his plan.
He asked those three girls to sell those cookies, the cookies which are actually developed by Dr. Nefario, which are actually robotic cookies, to vectors to Vector. They have to go to Vector's fortress and have to sell those cookies. So girls did the same.
On the other hand, we see minions are excited to serve for their despicable boss, Drew. On the other hand, Gru told Agnes, Edith, and Margot not to touch his objects, his things around the house, but on the contrary, they are so curious to know what exactly these strange things which are present in Gru's house. So they used to check and trial each and every things and devices around the house. So the other day,
On the other day, as per the Gru's plan, he will took those three girls to Vector's fortress, and they are going to sell those cookies, robotic cookies, to Victor and Vector. They are going to sell those robotic cookies. So the three girls, those three girls sold those cookies to Vector, and those cookies are actually robots, tiny robots. So those robots actually they have navigated to the exact position where exactly the shrink ray is located in the Vector's fortress.
so the position and motion of all the robotic cookies were captured on the Gru's device, and accordingly Gru followed that track and reached to the exact position location of that shrink ray, and caught that shrink ray, and smartly he took away that shrink ray from Vector's fortress.
This cruise act made all of the three girls think that why they have not sold other cookies to other vendors. So Gru told those three girls that they have made sufficient profits in the one sale itself. Afterwards, girls took Gru to the city fair, and they went inside the fair and they saw a spaceship to target, and they told Gru to target the spaceship with his short toy gun so that they can get that unicorn as a toy in return. So Gru do the same, and girls got unicorn in return.
As Gru got shrink ray, so he has a great desire to grab that moon from the space, and for that he planned to build his own spacecraft. And for that he decided that he will took some money as a loan from evil bank. So he did the same.
Gru had a meeting with evil bank manager and told about his plan to land moon. He told that he wants some money as a loan so that he can build up a spacecraft so that he can go to the moon and bring it back to the earth. So evil bank manager when come to know about the shrink ray that Victor now has no shrink ray and that shrink ray is now grabbed by Gru. So evil bank manager is amazed to see that.
On the contrary to Gru's expectation, evil bank manager refused to give loan to Gru, and Gru got quite disappointed by it. But when he addressed minions and Dr. Nefario and told him about evil bank manager decision that they have no sufficient money to build their own spacecraft until they have their loan from evil bank, and now evil bank manager refused to give them loan, so they are not able to build the spacecraft and to reach moon to get it back to the earth. But minions, they support Gru. They support Gru. Minions group support Gru and told him not to disappoint and not to get discouraged. They all will support Gru and they will all will contribute whatever they can, whatever amount they can. They all will contribute to and together to build a new spacecraft so that they can reach moon.
So this happens, they all contributed a maximum amount of money and through that they gather all the materials to build up a spacecraft. They built their own spacecraft. Dr. Nefario built the spacecraft for Gru and they got this. Now this is final destination. Gru has to navigate through the space through spacecraft and reach moon and he did the same.
Gru reached near the moon, landed on the moon, and with the help of shrink ray, Gru shrink that moon surface, and it is so hilarious. The moon shrink to a size of a fist.
Unfortunately, Vector had a knew about it that Gru caught that moon and shrinked it to a small size and bring it back to the earth. So Vector actually what he did is he actually abducted all three um, daughters, adopted daughters of Gru, and bring them to his fortress.
So as Gru come to know that Vector abducted those three little girls, Gru comes to fear and he head to Vector's fortress to save those three little girls.
Dr. Nefarious and all those minions help Gru to free those girls from the abduction of Vector.
On the other hand, inside the aircraft of Vector, that little baby moon turns to its original shape slowly and gradually. Parallelly, Gru and Nefarious, they were trying a lot to save those three baby girls. And Gru is doing the same. He's helping those baby girls to a secure place. And minions are helping Gru. They are safeguarding those girls and Gru.
Parallelly, Vector played various evil tricks to beat Gru and Nefarious, but he cannot outcast Gru and Nefarious' smart moves.
Gru safely escaped those three baby little girls and minions helped Gru in the same.
And parallelly, Shrinkbone slowly begins to regain its original size. It outspaced Vector's aircraft and slowly it outburst Vector's aircraft and slowly it navigates through the space to its original altitudes and longitudes and intact there. And at the same time, Vector,
Vector feels happy to be the happiest evil criminal after all.